Hello, everybody, and welcome to Virginia Commonwealth University. I'm Michael Rao, and I serve as president of VCU and VCU Health right here in Richmond, Virginia. We're so grateful for the privilege of participating in this year's International NASH Day, part of our worldwide effort to eradicate liver disease with the Global Liver Institute. More than 50 years ago, VCU established one of the nation's first organ transplant programs. Virginia's first liver transplant was actually performed right here. We are all too familiar with liver disease and the rising toll that it's taking. 1 in 10 Americans now have some type of liver disease, and every day 3 people on the liver transplant waiting list will die. Here and around the world, liver disease is just under-recognized, underdiagnosed, and certainly undertreated. For all that it does, the liver just has not gotten the attention that we must give to it. In February, VCU received a very, very important, historic $104 million gift to support our new VCU Stravitz-Sanyal Institute for Liver Disease and Metabolic Health. For this, we are so grateful to 2 of our very own physician scientists, my colleagues, Dr. Todd Stravitz and Dr. Arun Sanyal. So Dr. Sanyal actually came to VCU in 1988. He came as a fellow and he quickly found a home here. Arun has dedicated his exceptional career to serving patients, to caring for patients, developing therapeutics for reducing liver disease, and training the next generation of expert physician scientists. Under his leadership, our new institute will push liver research even further, finding new treatments for liver disorders so that one day, very soon, care providers will have so many more options that we can offer patients. The work here will have an enormous positive impact on our lives, changing medicine and changing our understanding of the role that the liver plays in overall human health. As I say so many times daily, it's really all about putting the needs of patients first. We're so pleased that we have this opportunity to welcome Donna Cryer, founder and CEO of the Global Liver Institute, the world's largest liver patient organization. She's here on campus to speak together with Dr. Sanyal. So let's join them as they discuss innovation, collaboration, and a really important vision to stop non-alcoholic steatohepatitis or fatty liver disease. Let's do this right now.
Hello, I'm Donna Cryer, founder and CEO of the Global Liver Institute, the world's largest liver patient advocacy organization. We bring together more than 200 organizations across our councils, campaigns, and events to advance liver health as public health, to both prevent liver diseases and scale optimal approaches to improving the lives of individuals and families impacted by liver disease. Today, I'm honored to be in Richmond, Virginia, at the new Virginia Commonwealth University Stravitz-Sanyal Institute for Liver Health and Metabolic Health to kick off Global Liver Institute's 2022 International NASH Day with the esteemed world-renowned director, Dr. Arun Sanyal. Hello, Dr. Sanyal.
Hi, and welcome to Richmond.
Thank you.
So, Donna, thank you for coming here. We truly appreciate the work that the GLI is doing to ensure that the patient voice is involved at every step. We are thrilled to support the Global Liver Institute and the International NASH Day and share with you today how our new institute will lead the way in providing quality care to patients.
I'm truly excited to be here and to represent all of the patients that I know will benefit from this institute. So why don't we start there with this new Stravitz-Sanyal Institute. This is the largest publicly shared gift for liver research in U.S. history. How did it come to be?
Well, I feel very fortunate that Dr. Todd Stravitz, who was one of our faculty members and who recently retired, came forward and made a very generous donation from his family foundation. And we are very, very grateful to him and his family and the Brunkhorst Foundation that really provided the fuel to get this institute off the ground. We have been focused on liver disease for 30 years, as you know. And we have been working on shoestring budgets over much of that time. But now we have resources to really try and make an impact on liver disease, not just here in Richmond or in Virginia, but worldwide.
It is so wonderful to see investment match the scale of vision, and I know how grand your vision is for liver health. At the Global Liver Institute, we catalyze the development of solutions tailored to suit every type of liver disease. And so tell us about the key areas of the Institute's work and how it will address the diverse needs of liver patients.
So the first point to make is that we are interested in managing all kinds of liver disease. Having said that, though, a major area of focus is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, of which NASH is a part. And this, of course, is not an isolated liver disease. And we really now, I think, need to start thinking of NASH in the background of metabolic health, because it reflects what one organ does or what happens to a single organ when the body's metabolic health deteriorates. So we got to stop looking at this with tubular vision, where a cardiologist only thinks about the heart, the diabetologist thinks about blood sugar, and the liver doctor only thinks about the liver, but bringing it all together. And no matter which organ brings you to your physician, it is time that we can spread the word to all types of healthcare providers as well as to the larger patient community, that if you have one of these organs involved, you need to ask about the other organs. And I think that's going to be a major theme. And there are two big differentiators for us. One is that we're very patient-oriented, whereas many academic centers focus on how many grants and papers they write, which are important metrics. But for us, really, where the rubber meets the road is when we save a human life. And that's why it starts with the patient. We bring it back to the patient. Our entire focus is translational science, taking our scientific discoveries and being able to move them forward so that we have better approaches to diagnose, prevent, treat liver disease.
Well, as a patient who has benefited for more than 2 decades from innovations in medications and procedures in liver disease and all, as you said, all of the connected conditions, I'm so grateful that your focus is that varied and that broad, and that your research will touch on all of those different aspects that really are needed to make sure that a person affected with liver disease really has the best opportunity for health and well-being.
Absolutely, because we want to focus on breaking down silos within the healthcare system, and which leads to care fragmentation. As many patients know that, when you are going on Monday to see a diabetologist, on Tuesday to see a cardiologist, on Wednesday to see your kidney doctor, on Thursday to see your liver doctor, your week's gone, right? So this care fragmentation has a huge impact on the way our patients live. And so we want to leverage digital technologies to coordinate messaging, to make sure the different providers are not giving disparate messages to the patient, which creates a lot of confusion, and also to coordinate and reduce the burden of testing and therapeutics for the patient, so that we can manage all of the organs of interest with the least burden of therapy, to make it more time effective, cost effective, reduce the risk of side effects, and overall enhance or improve the patient's journey to have a better outcome.
It is a huge shift to put liver at the central, as your institute is doing, one that is I'm excited about. And it is a huge shift to put patients at the center in the very meaningful ways that you have. Dr. Sanyal, you are not one of the top experts just in Virginia, but in the world for liver diseases, particularly, as you were mentioning, fatty liver disease and its more advanced form, NASH. And you've identified liver biopsy as one of the key barriers to us fully addressing this disease. So what role do non-invasive diagnostics have in shifting care? We want to thank you, of course, for being a huge supporter of GLI's Beyond the Biopsy in its very earliest days, and of course, you lead the FNIH NIMBLE Consortia. So non-invasive diagnostics and the role that they'll play.
So this is very rapidly evolving, and there is no question in my mind that a liver biopsy-based approach, while it has provided valuable information in understanding the disease, is really not a public health solution. Besides being invasive and painful, it carries a certain risk of morbidity and even rare risk of mortality, which for a diagnostic test should be a never-ever event, right? And we're not even talking about cost and taking a day off and somebody else having to take a day off to be with them while they're getting their biopsy. We need things that we can use right there in the clinic, a point of care test that if you have risk factors for fatty liver disease, you can be identified right there in your primary care physician's clinic, and the testing that allows us to risk stratify, to be able to tell whether you not only have the disease, but are you likely to get in trouble from the disease, and how close are you to that trouble. And that will allow us to then risk stratify and figure out which patients can be managed right in their primary care setting, which patients need to go for more advanced care. And so that's, I think, the future. The world is moving very rapidly towards that, and we are very hopeful that through our efforts in the NIMBLE Consortium, we will be able to get diagnostic biomarkers approved, even if it's for enrichment purposes to start with, and then eventually be able to address issues of prognosis and disease monitoring, all of which then transform the way patients are identified and managed.
Well, I look forward to that day, and that's why in 2022, our theme for International NASH Day is #StopNASHNow, because we want people to know that there are things that they, as individuals, and their doctors can do today, right now, as you were saying, in the immediacy of a primary care office, that can prevent, reverse, or slow the progression of fatty liver disease and NASH. And so spend a little more time telling us about what those things are that people can do right now.
Well, I think if you're a little bit overweight, if you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, or you've had abnormal, cholesterol and triglycerides on your blood work, that puts you at risk for having fatty liver disease. That's a starting point. If you have any one of these, have a conversation with your physician about whether you might have fatty liver disease. It's important to understand fatty liver disease is not just due to these other conditions that I mentioned, but also due to alcohol. And so we don't talk a lot about alcohol, but we know 2/3 of our population is overweight or obese, and 2/3 of our population also consume alcohol in varying degrees. And any amount of alcohol taken consistently on an everyday basis is harmful for health. There are things like breast cancer, whose risk is increased with alcohol when it's consumed even in very low amounts on a consistent, regular basis. So we need to address the issue of alcohol. We need to address the issue of healthy living, where you integrate healthy lifestyles, physical activity, better nutrition, and avoidance of alcohol and other things that could hurt the liver. If you take care of the liver will take care of you.
I think that's so important. Right? And I think that's also why International NASH Day is really just the start. We raise a lot of awareness on the second Thursday in June every year, but it's really just the beginning of a conversation we can have all year round on all the things that you've mentioned and all the work that your institute does. I think NASH gives us a unique opportunity to finally talk about liver health as public health, to connect to endocrinology, to cardiology, to heart health, to brain health, and overall health and well-being. And so that's one of the reasons that I'm so very excited to be here at the Stravitz-Sanyal Institute to work with you not only on International NASH Day, but in the future.
So something, that will be very interesting for us is we are starting a project on health literacy. It is, as a physician sitting at the bedside, it is my perception that even people with PhDs often are not very literate with respect to their health. And so there are massive knowledge gaps. And if you're not health literate, your ability to comply with healthy lifestyle is impaired, because a lot of people get all of their information from public media. And as you know, some of it is good and some of it is terrible. So I think there are opportunities to improve health literacy. There are also opportunities to improve health literacy or disease literacy within the physician community. If you are a diabetologist, you may not know all the nuances of liver disease. Similarly, if you're a liver doctor, you may not understand all the nuances of diabetes. And so I think understanding the roadmap of where the gaps are provides us opportunities for improvement and to reduce care fragmentation for the patient.
I think that's so important. You know, my family is originally from Virginia. I'm an attorney I took the bar exam in Roanoke, and so have traveled throughout this state and know the different communities that are here in Virginia that have different health literacy needs, have different cultural needs, different language needs. And so when I think of all of the people who would benefit from your institute, having a foundation and a focus on health literacy to make sure that they can really take advantage of everything that you're putting together to offer is something that I think is very exciting and so often ignored. And I think that's to both the grand vision that you have, but the practicality that will ensure that it is successful.
You know, at the outset, I said, for us, the patient is at the center of the conversation. So it's not just words. Right. We actually live it and breathe it every day.
Thank you, VCU President Dr. Michael Rao, for his opening remarks, and to Dr. Sanyal and the team at the Stravitz-Sanyal Institute for participating today and supporting liver patients worldwide on International NASH Day and every day. Don't forget to use #NASHDay to share how you're raising awareness. Follow us on social media, which includes our website, International NASH Day. I just Google it. It has too many hyphens and things in it. To learn more about IND, more easily, we're found at Global Liver on Twitter and Facebook, at Global Liver Institute on Instagram, and we'll also include our fantastic at Virginia Commonwealth University hashtags so that you can find out more about the great work of Dr. Sanyal and this institute. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanyal.
Thank you for coming down.